racking my brain and trying to figure out what to upload. And then I thought to myself, why don't I explain or over-explain the rules of Blackjack and how to play? One thing that really just, oh man, over last year specifically, and in 2021, a big part of Twitch became, all these sponsored gambling streams and all of this. It caused quite a bit of controversy. A lot of people claimed that they were kind of targeting minors and trying to get people to gamble on their website, and it was all fake money, stuff like that. But one thing that I did notice is a lot of people had no idea what they were doing. A lot of people had no idea how to play the easiest card game in pretty much all of Vegas or gambling, which is Blackjack or 21. So I thought it would be fun. It would be a fun little ASMR video to over-explain, or maybe for some of you, explain for the first time Blackjack. So if you're new and you like the sounds that are in your headphones or coming out of your speakers, hit that subscribe button. We just hit 60,000 subscribers recently. I would love it, love it, love it. Keep on climbing, so hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you're a returning subscriber, don't forget to hit that like button before you sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, I am currently on the Bicycle website, and for those of you that don't know, Bicycle is probably, in my opinion, the most well-known card company in the world. I don't know much about cards. Shout out Dido, he probably would be able to answer this question, but in my opinion, I've never seen anything outside of Bicycle, like cards outside of Bicycle, or at least around the house or at the store. If you ever see playing cards, I feel like 9 times out of 10, they're Bicycle playing cards. So I figured they would have a great place to kind of go and read or over-explain the game of 21, or the game of Blackjack. And it starts out by saying, equally well known as 21, the rules are simple, the play is thrilling, and there is opportunity for high strategy. In fact, for the expert player who mathematically plays a perfect game and is able to count cards, the odds are sometimes in that player's favor to win. I want to go ahead and say, I have no idea how to count cards. I am not at that level of play, but what I do know is the standard rules of Blackjack, when to hit, when not to hit. And if you play those rules, then you have a decent chance of winning. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing. I don't know anything about counting cards. I just want to go ahead and say that right now in case some of you are card counters out there and I say something and it's contradicts counting cards. I am simply explaining how to play the game from a beginner, novice point of view. So I just want to say that right now. Okay, so even for the casual participant who plays a reasonably good game, the casino odds are less, making Blackjack one of the most attractive casino games for the player. While the popularity of Blackjack dates from World War I, its roots go back to the 1760s in France, where it was called Vingt-et-un, French for 21. I hope I said that right. Today, Blackjack is one card game that can be found in every American casino. As a popular home game, it is played with slightly different rules. In the casino version, the house is the dealer, a permanent bank. In casino play, the dealer remains standing, and the players are seated. The dealer is in charge of running all aspects of the game, from shuffling and dealing the cards to handling all bets. In the home game, all the players have the opportunity to be the dealer, a changing bank. I don't know about that, but first, let's explain the back. The back being the back of cards. The standard 52 pack is used. 52 card pack is used, but in most casinos, several decks of cards are shuffled together. The 6-deck game, or 312 packs are used, they are dealt from a shoe, a box that allows the dealer to remove cards one at a time, face down, without actually holding one or more packs. So basically, the reason they use multiple packs is so that it kind of adds to the randomness. If you have one pack of cards, there is 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4s, 4 5s in each pack, etc. And if there's 4 3s on the table at one given time, that means you cannot get another 3. It is single card or single pack blackjack. So casinos will have like these 6 deck games to allow themselves to kind of protect from card counting and make it a little bit more difficult to predict what might be coming. Now, the objective of the game, each participant attempts to beat the dealer by getting a count as close to 21 as possible without going over 21. So 21 is your goal. You want the sum of all of your cards to equal 21. That is the perfect score. And I think a lot of people don't realize that you're not playing against each other. When you play blackjack, you're only playing against the dealer, which is why I enjoy blackjack so much. A lot of people like playing poker, or playing 5-card stud or Texas Hold'em, which is all fine and dandy, but only one person wins. In blackjack, you and all your friends can go and sit down at a table, and everybody can win. And of course, everybody can lose, but the goal of the game is to get to 21. And to do that, you have to get there with as many cards as it takes, but each card has a value, and it's up to each individual player. If an ace is worth 1 or 11, face cards are worth 10, and then all of the cards are worth its respective value. So what that means is, if I get an ace, I can treat that as a 1, or I can treat that as an 11, and it can change at any time. So, say you're dealt an ace and a 5. You can say, I have 6, or I have 16, 11, or 1, plus 5 would be 6, or 16. So you can then get a card for free, essentially, and say that card is a 5, well, congratulations, you have 21. Say that card is a 9, well, now you have, saying, you say that the ace is a 1, now you have 15, right? So that's how that works. That's how aces work. So that's how all the card values work, and I feel like I'm maybe doing a bad job of explaining, but I'm just kind of going based on the website. Before the deal begins, though, is when you place your bet. So, common value of a hand in Vegas is very rarely under $10. So you bet $10 a hand. You can maybe sit down at a table with $100. That's $10 chips. You place your bet. They deal the cards. If you win, you get your bet back. And, they match your bet. If you lose, they take your bet. The standard of everything. But there's different ways that you can maybe up your bet or split your hand. We'll get to that down the line. So, yeah, the general limits, according to Bicycle's website, are $2 to $500. I will say that there was when me and my brother went to Vegas a long time ago, it was actually for the McGregor versus Mayweather fight. We stayed at the Hooters Hotel and Casino, and they had a $1 blackjack table, which I thought was really cool. I've never seen it anywhere else, but a $1 blackjack table at the Hooters Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Pretty much everywhere else is $10 minimum, maybe some $5 here and there, but so the shuffle and cut. The dealer thoroughly shuffles portions of the pack until all the cards have been mixed and combined. designates one of the players to cut, and the plastic insert card is placed so that the last 60 to 70 cards or so will not be used. Not dealing to the bottom of the cards makes it more difficult for professional card counters to operate effectively. If you didn't do it that way, then people that were counting cards would be able to, oh, there's been, there's been, 8 kings already. That's 8 kings that can't be in the next set of cards that gets dealt. So they take that into, consideration when they are hitting or not hitting. Taking more cards versus not taking more cards, I'll say, instead of, the term is hit or stay. Hitting means, yes, I want another card, and staying means, no, I don't want another card. So moving forward, we have the deal. Now, when all the players have placed their bets, the dealer gives one card face up to each player in rotation clockwise, and then one card face up to themselves. Another round of cards is dealt face up to each player, but the dealer takes the second card face down. Thus, each player except the dealer receives 2 cards face up, and the dealer receives 1 card face up and 1 card face down. In some games played with only one deck, the players are dealt face down, and they get to hold them. Today, however, virtually all blackjack games feature the player's cards dealt face up, in the condition that no player may touch any cards. So, basically, what that tells me, and what that tells you, is everybody on the table can see each other's cards. I know that the guy next to me has the 13, and he knows that I have 18. And both of us together are trying to beat the dealer who is showing a 3. So, based on what the dealer is showing, kind of determines how the both of us should play. If I had, if I had 18, anything over 17, you generally want to stay. Actually, you should always stay if you have 17 or higher. Whereas, he had a 13 and is facing, a 16. Let me back it up. Let me just keep going. You know what? Let me just keep going. And we'll come back to this later. Basically, you want to play the game based off of what the dealer is showing. And I'm sure they're going to explain that here in a second. So, naturals. If a player's first 2 cards are an ace and a 10 card, a picture card, or a 10, giving a count of 21 and 2 cards, this is a natural or blackjack. I've actually never heard it called a natural. If any player has a natural and the dealer does not, the dealer immediately pays the player 1.5 times the amount of their bet. If the dealer has a natural, they immediately collect the bets of all players who do not have the naturals, but no additional amount. If the dealer and another player both have naturals, the bet of that player is a standoff or a tie, and the player takes back his chips. So basically, if you have 21 from 2 cards, you win 1.5 times your bet. Meaning if you bet $10, they're going to pay you $15, and now you have $25. But if the dealer also has 21, then anybody that doesn't have 21 loses, and anybody that does have 21 gets to keep their money, which is just essentially a push. Is what most people call it. It's a push, but they call it, what did they call it? They called it a standoff. So if the dealer's face-up card is a 10 card or an ace, they look at the face-down card to see if the 2 cards make a natural. If the face-up card is not a 10 card or an ace, they do not look at the face-down card until it is the dealer's turn to play. So the dealer has no idea what they have unless they're showing a 10 or an ace, in which they have to check to see if they have blackjack. So even the dealer has no clue. The player to the left goes first and must decide whether to stand, not ask for another card, or hit, ask for another card in an attempt to get closer to the count of 21, or even hit 21 exactly. Thus, a player may stand on the 2 cards originally dealt to them, or they may ask the dealer for additional cards one at a time until deciding to stand on the total. If it is 21 or under, or goes bust if it's 21 or over. In the latter case, the player loses and the dealer collects the bet wagered. The dealer then turns the next player to their left and serves them in the same manner. So, it's whoever's all the way to the left, so it's to the left of the dealer, so it's whoever, if you're, sitting at a table, it goes from right to left, because it's clockwise. So, the guy directly to the left of the dealer goes first. He gets all of his cards. If he has 21, if he busts, if he stays, doesn't matter. He gets all the cards until he's done, and then it goes to the next person, and then it goes to the next person. And only once everybody's done playing does the dealer go. And basically, the dealer has to stop at 17 or higher. And I'm sure it's going to explain that here in a second. Yes, it does. The combination of an ace with a card other than the 10 card is known as a soft hand, because the player can count it as an ace, count the ace as a 1 or an 11, and either draw cards or not. For example, with a soft 17, an ace, and a 6, the total is 7 or 17. While a count of 17 is a good hand, the player may wish to draw for a higher total. If the draw creates a bust hand by counting the ace as an 11, the player simply counts the ace as a 1 and continues playing by standing or hitting, asking the dealer for additional cards one at a time. So, this is exactly what I said earlier. Say you have an ace and a 5, you have 6 or 16, then you are given a king. You say, oh, I have 6, I have an ace and a 5, I have 16. I get another card, it's a 10. Oh no, that's 26. Well, that ace can also be a 1. So now you're back at 16. And then you can decide if you want to keep going or not. So you don't lock in a certain value for that ace. If you have 3 aces, then you could have, which just sounds ridiculous when I say it, but that could either be 13, or actually it would have to be 13, because you would treat one of them. Well, actually, I guess it could be 13 or 3, couldn't it? If you had 3 aces, it could either be 13 or 3. Yeah. You could say all 3 aces were 1, and you had 3, or you could say one ace is 11, and the other are 1, and so you would have 13. So you can change what the value of your ace is at any point. So the dealers play. When the dealer has served every player, the dealer's face-down card is turned up. If the total is 17 or more, it must stand. If the total is 16 or under, they must take a card. The dealer must continue to take cards until the total is 17 or more, at which point the dealer must stand. If the dealer has an ace, and counting it as 11 would bring the total to 17 or more, but not over 21, the dealer must count the ace as 11 and stand. The dealer's decisions then are automatic on all plays, whereas the player always has the option of taking 1 or more cards. So the dealer has to keep hitting until it gets to 17 or over, meaning if the dealer is showing a 6, right? We'll say a 5, for example. The chances of his card that you don't see being a 10 are high, because there's 10s, jacks, queens, kings, 4 different cards out of the typical. How many different cards are there? So there's ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 different cards that are not 10. And there are 4 cards that are 10. 10, 11, 12. Or, sorry, 10. Jack, Queen, and King. So the chances of you getting a card 10 or higher, a 10 value card, are the highest in the deck, so you automatically assume that the face down card is a face card. Now, so the dealer is showing a 6. Well, you assume that the card face down is a 10. And look at that, now you know that they have 16, or you assume that they have 16. And then you can kind of base off your decisions off of that. So if you have a 16, and the dealer's showing a 6, chances are the card that you take next, or the dealer takes next, is going to be higher than a 5. So the only thing that you would need, the only cards that you could take when you are at 16 would be 1 through 5. So ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the only cards that wouldn't make you bust. Whereas 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, 8 different cards would make you bust. So mathematically, if you have 16, chances are you are going to bust. If you take another card, well, if the dealer is showing a 6, then chances are, if you assume that she has 16 or he has 16, then the dealer has to take that weighted card. So it's all based around what the dealer has. And I wonder if we're going to get into that here in a minute. Signaling intentions. When a player turns come, if they say hit, or can say the signal for a card by scratching the table with a finger, or 2, an emotion towards themselves, or they can wave their hand in the same motion that they would say to someone, come here. When the player decides to stand, they can stand or no more. Okay, this is basically saying, so what this does is, in casinos, there's cameras everywhere. You have to signal the instruction. So if you want to hit, you tap the table twice. If you want to stand, you do like this. Like no more, I'm done. Like that. I think they're saying like, come here. I don't know, come here. Maybe that would be hit. Wave their hand in the same motion that they would say, come here. Wait, yeah, okay, so that's hit. Yeah, like, give me, like, boom. Player decides to stand, or they can say stand or no more, or can signal this intention by moving their hands sideways, palm down, just above the table, so like this. Like, no more, no more. That's so that there's like recorded evidence that you either wanted a card or didn't want a card, because you could easily say hit and then be like, oh, I didn't say anything, or that's not what I said, I didn't mean that. See where it can kind of get a little crazy. So that is signaling intentions. It's really, more at the more intense places do they really enforce that type of stuff, but it's probably pretty important that you do it. Splitting pairs, so here's kind of where things get a little tricky. Say you are dealt a hand and you get 2 of the same card, you get a pair. You get 2 2s, you get 3 3s, you get 4, you get 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, whatever it might be. You can choose to split. So, if a player's first 2 cards are the same denomination, such as 2 jacks or 2 6s, they may choose to treat them as 2 separate hands. When their turn comes around, the amount of the thus treated separately, and the dealer settles with each one its own merits. With a pair of aces, the player is given one card for each ace and may not draw again. Also, if a 10 card is dealt to one of these aces, the payoff is equal to the bet, not 1 1/2 to 1 as with a blackjack at any other time. Interesting, I didn't know that. So basically, the only time you really want to split is if you have aces or if you have eights. There's a saying, you always split aces and eights. Aces and eights, aces and eights. Let's think about why that is, and I don't know why my stomach's deciding to make a bunch of noises now. Let's think about why that is. If you have aces, that can be 1 or that can be 11. But if you have them together, then you have to have 12. Well, you can then split them. And again, what is the most common value in the entire deck? The most common value is 10. So, you split them. You have 2 11s or 2 1s. You split them up. Chances of you getting 21 on at least one of them is pretty high. And then you have 2 different hands. Same goes for 8s. When you have 2 8s together, what is it? 16. 16 is the worst hand you can have, essentially, because if it's actually, I guess it's not the worst hand you can have, but you are likely to how do I explain this? 16 is not a good hand because you want 17 or higher, and you don't want to stop until you have 17 or higher. So if you have 2 8s, you could then split it into, instead of having 16, you could have 2 8s, and thus you have a chance to get a couple of 10s, or maybe you get a 3 on one and a 10 on the other, or you get a 3 on one and a 5 on the other. Now you have 11 and 13. Well, that 11, then you can hit again on the 11, whereas the chances of you getting a 10 are very high because it's the most common value in the deck. You then get a 10 on that. Now you have 21. You've just turned one of your 16. You've turned a 16 into 2 different hands, and one of them is now 21, and you can then hit on the other one. It's just a strategy of getting rid of a 16 and kind of getting a re-roll of 2 8s. Other than that, I don't recommend ever splitting. A lot. It's kind of personal preference, but some people will split. Like, why would you want to split 5s? If you had 5s and you have 10, well, if you have 10, then you're an ace away from 21, or if you get another 10, then that's 20, which is a really strong hand. So splitting 5s is never really a good idea. Splitting anything other than aces and 8s really isn't a good idea, truthfully. So that's one of the different things that you can do. So another option open to the player is doubling their bet when the original 2 cards dealt total 9, 10, or 11. When the player's turn comes, they place a bet equal to the original bet, and the dealer gives the player just 1 card, which is placed face down and is not turned up until the bets are settled. At the end of the hand, with 2 5s, the player may split a pair, double down, or just play the hand in a regular way. Note that the dealer does not have the option of splitting or doubling down. This is interesting because people can double down at any value. I've never seen where people, it's not smart to double down if you have anything less than 9, 10, or 11. But say the dealer is showing a 5 or a 6, which is like 2 of the most favorable cards that you can face, that the dealer can have. It's a favorable in your favor, not their favor. Because the likelihood of them having a 10 as their face down card is high. And so you assume that you're facing a 15 or a 16. If you have a 10, then chances of you doubling down, you can double your bet, get 1 card, and if it's higher than a 7, then that's a good play. You're essentially betting on the dealer to bust. That's essentially what you're doing when you double down. You think, hey, the dealer is going to bust. I'm going to double down because I cannot bust. If I double down with a 10 or an 11, I might get another 10, and now I have 20 or 21. That is a great hand. That is a great feeling. And you just hope that the dealer busts, and then you win double your bet. But sometimes you can really screw yourself over. Also, a lot of the times they'll give you your card face up. You don't have to take it face down. Some casinos, I think, will ask you if you want it face up or face down. Some people like to take it face down for the, I don't know, the extra rush of, oh, did I win, did I not win? You're basically taking it face down. If you take it face down, then you really are just saying, hey, I think the dealer's gonna bust here. I don't really care what my card is. I think the dealer's gonna bust. And that's, I don't know, it's just a personal preference kind of thing. Moving on. Sorry, this is like very long-winded stuff, and I feel like I've probably done a pretty bad job of explaining, so we're gonna actually play a couple games after this with some fake money. But insurance. So when the dealer's face-up card is an ace, any of the players may make a side bet of up to half the original bet that the dealer's face-down card is a 10 card, and thus a blackjack for the house. Once all such side bets are placed, the dealer looks at the whole card. If it's a 10 card, it is turned up, and those players who have made the insurance bet win and are paid double the amount of their half bet, a 2-to-1 payoff. When a blackjack occurs for the dealer, of course, the hand is over and the player's main bets are collected, unless a player also has a blackjack, in which it is a standoff. Insurance is invariably not a good proposition for the player unless they are quite sure that there is an unusual high number of 10 cards still left undealt. This is kind of one of those things, personal preference. I never take insurance. If the dealer's got blackjack, then I just lose. It's fine. There's no reason to have a side bet and lose that side bet and then lose your original bet too. It's just another way to lose more money, in my opinion. It's just something that I do myself. But basically the only time that insurance ever comes into effect is if the face-up card for the dealer is an ace. That is the only time they will ever ask for insurance. And 99 times out of 100, nobody's ever going to take it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody take insurance on a face-up ace. I don't think I've ever seen it. So settlement. A bet once paid and collected is never returned. Thus, one key advantage to the dealer is that the player goes first. If the player goes bust, they have already lost their wager, even if the dealer goes bust. If the dealer goes over 21, the dealer pays each other. If the dealer goes over 21, the dealer pays each player who has stood the amount of the player's bet. That's so terribly worded. If the dealer stands at 21 or less, the dealer pays the bet of any player having a higher total, not exceeding 21, and collects the bet of any player having a lower total. If there's a standoff, a player having the same total as the dealer, no chips are paid out or collected. So essentially, if the dealer gets 17 to 21, whoever the dealer beats, they take their money, and whoever beats the dealer gets paid. That's all that's saying. I don't know why they had to go in such detail there. Long-winded wording. I promise if it seems like this is complicated, it's not. It's not at all. This website, I should have probably taken a read of this before diving into it. I think I could have probably done a better job of explaining it myself. So reshuffling, when each player's bet is settled, the dealer gathers in that player's cards and places them face up at the side against a clear plastic L-shaped shield. The dealer continues to deal from the shoe until coming to the plastic insert card, which indicates that it is time to reshuffle. Once the round of play is over, the dealer shuffles all the cards, prepares them for the cut, places the cards in the shoe, and the game continues. Essentially, all the cards that get dealt get discarded until the shoe is complete. let's see what they decide to tell us as far as basic strategy goes. Winning tactics in blackjack require that the player play each hand in the optimum way, and such strategy always takes into account what the dealer's up card is. When the dealer's up card is a good one, a 7, 8, 9, 10 card, or ace, for example, the player should not stop drawing until a total of 17 or more is reached. When the dealer's up card is a poor 1, 4, 5, or 6, the player should stop drawing as soon as he gets a total of 12 or higher. The strategy here is to never take a card if there is any chance of going bust. The desire with this poor holding is to let the dealer hit and hopefully go over 21. Finally, when the dealer's up card is a fair 1, 2, or 3, the player should stop with a total of 13 or higher. With a soft hand, the general strategy is to keep hitting until a total of 18 is reached. Thus, with an ace and a 6, 7, or 17, the player would not stop at 17, but would hit. The basic strategy for doubling down is as follows. With a total of 11, the player should always double down. With a total of 10, he should double down unless the dealer shows a 10 or an ace. And with a total of 9, the player should double down only if the dealer's card is fair or poor, 2 through 6. For splitting, the player should always split a pair of aces or 8s. Identical 10 cards should not be split, and neither should a pair of 5s, since 2 5s are a total of 10, which can be used more effectively in doubling down. A pair of 4s should not be a split either, as a total of 8 is a good number to draw to. Generally, 2s, 3s, or 7s can be split, unless the dealer has an 8, 9, 10 card, or an ace. Finally, 6s should not be split unless the dealer's card is poor, 2 through 6. So that is the basic strategy, and I know that sounded very, very complicated. A lot of this probably sounded very, very complicated, but I'm going to play a couple games, and I'm sure after a while you will see that's not as complicated as you might think. So give me a second, I will set up the games, and we will play a couple blackjack games together. Alright, so here we are. We are on stake. Yes, I've been on stake before, but we are playing with fake money. All of this is fake money. I'm not even showing the amounts that are being bet. This is strictly for teaching purposes. So we'll go ahead and play. Wow, terrible start. So this is the dealer's cards, and this is our cards. We have 14. We're facing an ace, but this is a perfect teaching moment. We will say no insurance. We're gonna click no insurance. Hello? Oh, okay. I thought the game was like loading. The dealer does not have blackjack, so we can assume that the dealer does not have a 10, so he has to have at least from a 9 to a 2, so he has a numbered card. We have 14, meaning we would lose to anything 15 or higher, which the dealer has to hit until they get to 17, but like an ace, that means a 6, we lose. If the dealer has a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 9, we lose. If they have lower than that, then they can keep hitting until they get to 17. They have a very favorable hand right now. So we will go ahead and hit with 14, and now we have 17. I always stand on 17, especially a hard 17 like this. If it was a soft 17, maybe something different. Look at that, the dealer bust. So the dealer showed us to 4. I wish there was a way you could slow this down. Game settings. No, there's no like speed. The dealer showed us a 4, so the dealer had 5 or 15. The dealer then took a 10, which makes it 15. 10 plus 4 plus 1, then it's 15. The dealer then took another card, which was a king, which gives him 25, and thus we win. So let's keep going. 9 and 8, that's 17 against a 4, which we assume is a 14. the dealer is going to have to take another card, and thus probably going to bust. We're going to stand on 17. It got 21. I never play virtual poker, like ever, just because I find it to be a little weird. Now, this is perfect. This is a perfect teaching moment here. We have 15. We have a 7 and an 8. Also, the dealer has a 6, so that's 6, 7, 8. I think that's actually called a rummy. I think that's a rummy. And that's that's like another side bet that you can make in certain casinos. I think that's what that is. I think a rummy is if you have two cards in succession and it either, if the dealer had a 6 or a 9, it would be 7, 8, 9 or 6, 7, 8. As long as you and the dealer's cards are like in a row, I think that's a rummy. But that's like almost a completely different topic. We have 15. The dealer has 6, which we always assume that face down card is a 10. Well, if it is a 10, he has 16. I have 15. That means I would lose, right? Wrong. The dealer has to hit until it has a 17 or higher. So if it does have 16, then it has to hit, and in that case, anything over a 6 is going to make him bust. So we will stand. He had a 14, so he had to take another card, which was a 9, which is too many, so he busts. Let's go again. We have 18. We always stand on 18. What is he going to have? He gets 18, so no one wins. We go again. We have 13. The dealer has 14. We're just going to let the dealer bust. We're just going to let him bust. He took a bunch of small cards. That's fine. That's fine. We lose that hand. Look at that. We get 21. The dealer doesn't take another hand. Doesn't take another card because we had 21 on the first card. On the first hand, we actually get paid 1.5 times now. So that's nice. We have 16 against a 10, which we assume is 20. We're going to go ahead and hit. We bust. I wish it would show us the card underneath there. Let's see, we have 9 against 11. No insurance. Okay. Dealer did not have 21, which means he's got to have a 9 or lower. We got to 17, 5 or 15, 15, 20. We lose. It's going very quickly, but 6 and 2. That's an 8 versus a 3. We always want to hit. We always want to hit. If we don't have, if you have 11 or lower, you always want to hit. Now we have 10. Now, if we get a 10 here, that's 20. If we get an ace, that's 21. We get a 7. Okay, we'll stand on 13. 9, 13, 17. Wow. A lot of low cards here. Dealer again with dealer gets 21 this time. Okay, 8 versus a king. That's not good. Now we have 18. Dealer had 14. Dealer has 16. Dealer has 18. We push virtual poker, man. This is why you don't play virtual poker. This is why you don't play virtual poker right here, or virtual blackjack. We have 19. Dealer has 20. We're on a big losing streak here. Okay, we have 12. Now, a lot of people say, I have 12, I'm gonna hit. And I kind of get that. Anything not a 10 is gonna, the chances of you having a lower than a 10 is greater than having a 10. The 10 happens to be the most common number, but it's not always, you assume that the dealer has a 10, but it doesn't always. That's just kind of what you assume. I don't know. Because again, let's think about it. A 10, a jack, a queen, a king. That's only 4 different cards that are a 10. Whereas you can have an ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 cards versus 4 cards. You're actually twice as likely to not have a 10. But for the sake of playing blackjack, you always assume that the dealer has a 10. I'm going to hit. We got a 6. Now we have 18. That's good. let's think about it. Let's think if I didn't hit. Let's think if I did not hit. Actually, no, the dealer would add. Never mind, the dealer would add 17. We would have lost anyways. It was a losing situation either way. Didn't matter what we did. 10 and a jack. That's 20. We'll stay. Dealer still somehow gets 20. 20 again. We will stay. Dealer has 18, so we win there. 13 versus a 5. Okay, so what would you do in this situation? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you would do in this situation. You stand. And you lose. Even if you lose, guys, listen. You play by the rules. You play by the book. You play the odds. Which the odds are in your favor. If you play this way, 3 versus a 13, we're gonna stand. Didn't matter what we did. If we had taken if we took that next card, we'd get that 10. We bust. So it was just a lose-lose situation. 21, very nice. 6, 16 versus a 10. Got a hit. I wish we could see that face down card. 8 or 18. This is a definite stand. Boom. So had we hit, let's analyze this. Had we hit, first of all, we would have pissed off everybody at the table. 18 is a solid hand, especially against a 5. Like, you just let the dealer bust. Had we hit, we would have taken that 10. We would have then become 18. The dealer still would have had 12. Let's see what the next card is. Would have been a queen, so the dealer still would have bust. We have 12 against a 16. I'm gonna stand on that. Yeah, perfect. Still let the dealer bust. When in doubt, let the dealer bust. We have 20 versus a 12. Dealer bust. Kind of starting to come back here a little bit. 12. Tough. Wouldn't have mattered. We had 12. The next card was a queen. We would have lost. We have 12 again. We'll hit. Now here comes all the big cards. Just when I said we were starting to come back. 18. 14. 23. That's too many. 16 versus a 10. We'll go ahead and hit here. Hopefully we get something low. 17. Again, if you have a hard 17 or higher, you gotta stay. Like, that is the only cards that you can get then. Ooh. We have 11. But the dealer's showing a 10. A lot of people, they double down whenever they have 11. It's fake money, so I'm gonna hit double. We get one card, it's 20. Boom, we just won double our money. We just won that hand. Very nice. Let's keep going. 14 versus a 2. We'll stand. Let the dealer bust. Nice. Dealer busts. 17 versus a 6. 6 is the best hand the dealer. I was gonna say 6 is the best hand face-up card the dealer can have. And he got 21. Okay. 7. That's 14 versus a 9. We'll hit. 15. Hit again. 23. That's too many. Okay. 18 versus a 5. That's a good favorable hand. We'll stay there. Dealer busts. 16. Or sorry. 10 versus a 10. Again, assuming that face card down is a 10, that would be 20. Oh, of course. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. It just feels so wrong sometimes. Like, you can do everything right and still lose. Had to hit. We had 15. No insurance. Okay. Stand. We have 19. Dealer also has 19. 9. Again. What this? Dealer gets another blackjack. We have 4s versus a 7. You know what? This is wrong. You're not supposed to do this, but we'll split because it's fake money. I just want to show you guys a split. So now we have 6 over here and 9 over here. We're playing this hand right here, so we're going to hit here. Now we have 16. This is why you don't split 4s. 23. Okay. We bust that hand, but this hand's still alive. Now we have 17 here. Boom. Okay, so we won one, we lost one, so we were even money on that. You guys kind of starting to get to understand. We lost there, 17 versus 20. 20 here versus what? Nice bust. Okay, 17 versus 19. Yeah, we lose there. Nice, 21. What do we got here? Nines, a couple of nines. So again, we could split because we have two nines, right? But 18 is a good hand. I would rather have 18 against possibly 18. We'll stand. Oh my god, no way. He had 3 8s. So we would have split, right? We would have gotten 8 on one. So that would have been 17 on one, and we would have gotten what on the other? So it would have been 17 and 19. So now we have the 1D. We won that hand. Okay. 8s and 5s. That's 13 versus a 10. Wouldn't have mattered. Nice. 21. 17. We'll stay on 17. Let them bust. Or not bust. This is really bad. 22. Had to hit there. Showing against a 9. 8. Always hit. Again, now we have 12. Let the dealer bust. Let the dealer bust. Okay, there it is. Finally happened. Finally happened the way that we said it would. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to stand. I meant to stand. So now our 19 becomes 14. Didn't matter either way. We would have won either way. We have 12 against the 7 we have to hit. Now we have 16 against the 7. A lot of people will stay here. The book says hit. You assume that that's a 10. Yeah, they have 17. We're going to hit. Boom. Now we have 18. Look at that. That right there is how you play blackjack, right? You have some system. You have a set of rules that you play by. I play by the book. That's how I play. Of course, I didn't some of these times because I was trying to teach you guys, but right there, I had 16. I decided to hit because I assume that the dealer has 17, which he did. We get a 2, so now we have 18, and the dealer shows us the 17, and we win. That right there is how you play blackjack. That is how things are supposed to go. When there's actually cards being dealt, it feels a lot less random. I know virtually things can be very random. They feel very random. But I promise, if you're sitting down at a casino, it's gonna feel a lot better. It's gonna feel a lot cleaner. I don't know, a lot more mathematical, if that makes sense. So, guys, that is gonna do it for this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I will see you all in the next one.